What is your goal on a zero carb or carnivore diet? Hey, what's shaking bacon? I hope you're doing well. I've seen people who are struggling with carnivore, some firsthand, some just through other people. These people I've seen struggling on a carnivore diet, sometimes they're saying, yeah, I'm doing it for health. I'm doing it for health. I'm doing it for this particular reason or that particular reason, and I want to get this under control. But the problem is, the real reason sometimes that they're doing this is for weight loss. So when they see their body doesn't respond the way they want to, or they've gone up 1 pound, or maybe they've gone up 5 pounds or 20 pounds, maybe more, as their body's healing, they can't handle that. So it's not to say that they're not in it for the healing, but they're dealing with some issues possibly around body dysmorphia, or maybe just trying to manage a carnivore diet. And what's happening is they're trying to get healthier, but there's some other issues going on that is affecting their relationship with food because they're putting on weight. And more than anything, they want the health without the weight gain. So yes, I put on weight. That's not what this video is about. This video is about people being honest with themselves. How do you know you're being honest with yourself? What is your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you truly doing this? Now, it's okay for your why to change as you go along your journey, but you have to keep in mind more than anything, the goal. What's your end goal with a carnivore diet? Most people, it's health. Sometimes it's athletic performance, but that falls back to health. They're in better health, their joints are less inflamed, their inflammatory markers have gotten better. Some people it's for weight loss. Well, that's health. That's their blood work. It's making sure that everything looks good to manage their health problems that they've had. Maybe it's autoimmune disorders. Maybe it's just something that they've been dealing with for a long time because maybe their metabolism's been out of whack for a long time. Maybe they've been overweight for a long time, and they're trying to get these different health problems under control. One of the things that was holding me back when I was starting a carnivore diet and zero carb was gout. Even though my gout got better and I was losing weight, I still hit a plateau with my carnivore diet. And I didn't care because I was still getting lots of non-scale victories. So even though my weight plateaued for months, I was getting non-scale victories. My waistline was still going down. My muscle mass went up for a while there when I was doing some really aggressive weight training. My blood work was getting better. So I had lots of non-scale victories to keep me satisfied with the fact that I wasn't losing weight the way I wanted to, because you can't have everything all at once. If you have the mentality, I want all the rewards with none of the effort, well, you know what? You're going to be disappointed in life. And maybe it served you well in lots of areas of your life, but you're going to have to just accept the fact that sometimes you have to put the legwork in. And sometimes it's going to be a longer journey than you expected. I've never had trouble losing weight, ever. My trouble was always keeping it off. I've lost a lot of weight numerous times, and this is the first time I've lost weight where it's stuck. And carnivore works well for me. Carnivore probably works well for you, and that's why you're watching this video. Maybe it's a loved one trying to manage this. I always knew what my why was. First, it was better health. Second was weight loss, because I knew that was a side effect of better health. I've always been pretty honest with myself when it comes to this. Some people struggle because they want all the benefits without the risk of maybe putting on a little bit of weight in the meantime. Some people don't want to weight train because they're worried they're going to get big and bulky. In both of those scenarios, it's usually the outliers, the people that have extremely damaged metabolic health, or the people when it comes to the weight training that are doing steroids and have a really good genetic background that's allowing them to get big and bulky. And that's often the type of bulk lots of women don't want. If you're an average Joe and you're exercising with weights, you can do that all day long and you're never going to get bulky. And you want some proof for that? Look at the amount of people that go to the gym and work out who don't take steroids or supplements. They're not too big. It's hard to tell if you don't have a trained eye to see who's doing steroids and who's not. But for the average Joe working out, they're just going to look like they're in really good shape. Sometimes they even put a t-shirt on and you can't always tell because maybe they're not into bodybuilding, but they're into fitness. They're very lean, they're very muscular, but they're not huge. You have to try to get huge. Most people have to try and get huge when they're weight training. They have to have the perfect diet. They have to have the perfect routine, and they often have to be taking some sort of supplementation and or steroids. And that's fine if they want to do that, but that's not going to apply to you because you're just doing some exercise, right? So same thing with the high-fat version of carnivore. If you have to do a high-fat version of carnivore to help get yourself in better metabolic health, temporarily. This isn't something you're going to be doing forever and ever. It's just until you gain some metabolic health. Then everything gets better after that, and you can kind of have some freedom and you can start having other things. Maybe it'll be reintroducing dairy and cheese or certain foods on a carnivore diet that allow you to open it up a little bit and experience all the benefits that comes from a high fat version of carnivore. Maybe it's a low fat version that's going to work for you. You don't know until you try different things, and don't get too scared by it. If you want to make sure you're doing it right, go get some exams done, maybe a DEXA scan or a bod pod, to make sure you're getting the results you want with your lean mass and bringing your body fat percentage down to an acceptable level. Doesn't happen overnight. Some people, they get great results when they do carnivore and they get fast results, but that's not everyone. That's usually younger people in their 20s and 30s who get those results, not people in their 40s and 50s. Just takes a little longer, simple as that. And you can speed the process up by figuring out what's out of balance in your body through some medical exams to try and tweak your carnivore diet to fix that problem. You can't do it all at once though. So first you have to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. After that, you need to create a plan. Start with getting some blood work done and some medical exams. I highly recommend throwing fasting insulin in there because most doctors aren't going to push for it in the beginning anyway. If you have to pay for an exam like that, it's worth it. It really is. You want to find out where that is. That's one of your major problems, assuming you don't have a thyroid problem. That's another hormone that regulates the metabolism. And unless you have a history with thyroid problems, I don't think you need to worry about that too much. Right now, just focus on your fasting insulin. But whatever the problem is, if you don't get the blood work done to figure out what it is, you're never going to know how to manage the problem. So if your why is health or fat loss, you need that. If your goal is just better performance at the gym, then you could probably do a sort of dirty carnivore or ketovore or a ketogenic diet, different versions of carnivore that are going to be beneficial for you to get the results you want. And after a while, you can start playing with that carnivore diet to try and help with your performance in any area. If your issue is getting your ketones up and your blood sugar down, maybe some exercise is the best way to go for you. Maybe it doesn't have to all be through diet. But if you're going to be one of those people, and I'm fine if you do this, but if you're going to be one of those people that has some carbohydrates or sugar substitutes in your diet while you're trying to stick with the carnivore diet, you're making that a bit more of an uphill battle. You're putting gas on the fire. You don't want to put gas on a fire. You want to smother that fire. And how do you smother fires? You take the oxygen away. You take the carbohydrates away with this carnivore diet. And that's going to be enough for most people. Most of us have multiple goals. Keep that in mind. You have to figure out what your goals are. You might have more than one goal, but if your third goal is your biggest goal, like I want to do this one day, you have to figure out the path to get there. It's okay to have multiple goals, but prioritize what your first ones are. Typically, what I think is the most important is getting your health balanced. A lot of people have it wrong. They think you need to lose weight to get healthy. No, you need to get healthy to lose weight. I've lost weight before and lots of times through the years. And the more I lost weight, the healthier I got. The difference on a carnivore diet, I've always noticed, is the longer I do a carnivore diet, my body gets healthier and then I start losing the weight. Now I'm at the point where I'm trying to tweak this. And my weight loss is overall in a good direction. I've had a bit of a setback doing a high-fat carnivore diet with my weight, but my blood work is drastically better. So I know my body's healing underneath this fat. And I'm going to get to the point where this weight loss starts melting off because this is what science has shown. This is what history has shown. This is what everyone knows. You have to get your insulin better managed to lower your weight. Short of some other underlying health problems, that's what you need to focus on right now. You won't know if you need to focus on that unless you get the blood work done. So go get the blood work done. Understand what your goal is. Try and focus on your main goal first, and then knock down the other goals after you have that done. Years ago, when I was in college and I was in a lot of debt, I found it difficult to get out of that debt until I started just focusing all my money on one debt at a time. And what I did was I focused all my money and attention to one credit card at a time or one line of credit at a time. And then the next time I focused all my money and attention on the second one. I wasn't trying to pay them all down because when I was trying to just balance all of my debts, I was getting nowhere fast. And a year and a half went by and I thought, I am no further ahead now than I was a year and a half ago. I have to change my strategy. So I stopped paying all my debt. I don't recommend anyone do this, but I stopped paying all my credit cards and focused on just the one. And then I paid that one off inside of a month. And then I had one less debt. Instead of 7 bills a month, I had 6 bills a month. Then the next month, I put a minimum payment on all my other credit cards. And then I put the balance of that money onto my second bill. And I started with the small ones so that I could pay them off fast. Now, lots of these were high interest loans. By the third month, I had 2 of my debts down. I went from 7 bills a month down to 5 bills a month. And then I just kept doing that. The next month I played catch up on all the other ones. And the month after that, I paid off a third one. And by the time I got 3 of my 7 debts out of the way, I was just like, oh, which one am I going to do now? I was really getting excited. I was seeing this momentum. The benefit I got from doing this was within a year, I got completely out of debt. I think it was about $13,000 or $14,000 in debt. And it was completely gone by the end of the year. So the same thing with your goals with weight loss. Sometimes you have to be hyper-focused on one of your goals and not ignore the other goals, but don't put nearly as much time or attention to them and get that first one out of the way. And then that's one less goal you have to worry about. Just work towards that one goal. And if that goal is being strict with carnivore, put all your attention on just being strict. Don't worry about all the other issues. If it's to put on muscle while you're doing a carnivore diet, just do your carnivore diet. But have a steady, realistic workout plan. So anyway, thanks a lot. I hope you're doing well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks a lot and take care.